Namaste. Welcome to Vishwa Yoga. My name is Vishwa. Today I will summarize the Tantra philosophy and will also share the similarities and differences among major schools, and then also compare them with some of the Vedic philosophies. So I assume that you have already watched my videos on Shaiva-Shakta and Vaishnava Tantra philosophies. In each one, I have explained it through 36 main tattvas and their main questions and answers. Also, to understand the comparison with the Vedic philosophies, I assume that you have at least watched my video on Samkhya, Yoga, and Vedanta philosophy, and have also understood their similarities and differences. Many rituals of Tantra have the reflection of Mimamsa. In case you have not watched these videos, then I suggest you watch them first to have a better understanding. I will also add the links to related videos in the description here. So on a high level, let me point out some of the similarities among tantric philosophies. Each school accepts three valid sources of knowledge: direct experience, inference, and testimony. Each one talks about three types of creation in the scheme of 36 tattvas. And then in each one, Samkhya system is the foundation and common as impure type of creation, which is present as our material world. You also saw Maya is a common tattva that creates ignorance and is the cause of suffering by creating three impurities or malas and limitations. In each school, there is one supreme reality, and it is the power of the Supreme or Shakti, and that is the common force for the creation. Devotion to that supreme reality is important in each tradition. And lastly, each school appears to use a rational and practical approach. However, different schools provide different flavors as various paths to different individuals of different temperaments, so that one can use the path which suits or works best for him or her. Now let me share the major differences among them. Each school refers to the supreme reality with a different name. Shaiva refers to Param Shiva, Shakta refers to Para Shakti, and Vaishnava refers to Para Vasudeva. Shaiva and Shakta's philosophy follows the agamic model closely, but Vaishnava's philosophy tries to bridge multiple systems together. Vaishnava Tantra emphasizes emanations or view and incarnations or avatars. Shakta Tantra emphasizes on Mahavidyas and Shaivas on Bhairava. Usually 10 Maha avatars, or you can call it Dasa avatar of Lord Vishnu, are compared to 10 Mahavidya or 10 Mahavidyas or forms of Shakti. As you may have observed that each tradition uniquely emphasizes its practices. It varies based on guru or lineage, personal god or goddess, following either right hand or left hand path, using different modes of practices, either using rituals, yoga, meditation, mantra, yantra, etc. Mantra yoga is a common practice, but different mantra is used in different traditions, using respective yantra or deity. Vaishnava tradition mostly emphasize on sattvic approach, but Shaiva and Shakta traditions use all possible options. I hope this gives you a high level similarity and differences among these tantric traditions. Now let me compare Tantra philosophy with major Vedic philosophies such as Vedanta, Samkhya and Yoga, which you may have heard me referring to it before. So in Vedic philosophies, the idea of liberation or mukti is called kaivalya, which means detachment, isolation or viyog. You probably also know that the word yoga means union. But the final goal of yoga is viyog or separation or detachment, to realize the supreme. So you must be wondering, separation from what? So let me say a few words about each philosophy to understand the key differences here. So Vedanta talks about isolation from Maya because it considers Maya as an illusion and the material world is not real. Only Brahman is real. So the higher self can be achieved by rejecting Maya or this material world. In Samkhya and Yoga philosophy, it is the isolation from Prakriti, the changing nature or material world. These philosophies say it is our ego that is the cause of all our misery and suffering. Here, Purusha is the conscious principle and Prakriti is the unconscious principle. As per Samkhya philosophy, there are many Purushas. However, in Yoga philosophy, there is also a special Purusha or a Purusha Vishesha, which is the essence of all Purusha. As per these two philosophies, if you isolate yourself from Prakriti, then you will reside in your true nature or Purusha, which is none other than Purush Vishesha. So you see, these three philosophies emphasize renunciation of worldly life because attachment to the material world is considered the cause of all sufferings. In summary, one wants to reject Maya and others want to reject Prakriti. So from a narrow point of view, these paths appear to neither world affirming nor body affirming. However, in Tantra, no separation, isolation, or rejection is advised. Though Tantra also says that Maya is the root cause of all suffering. But here, Maya and Prakriti are considered real and manifestation or expansion of same supreme reality. So why isolate or reject them? Rather, accept them through the knowledge and understand their principle, and then dissolve yourself or become one with that supreme while acknowledging the truth. Therefore, Tantra is not the path of rejection. It is the path of acceptance. It is both as world affirming and body affirming tradition. But most people start with a duality, and thus the yoga philosophy becomes the common bridge in both Vedic and Tantric approaches. The yoga philosophy is simpler and easier to understand. Here, for simple understanding, the Purush Vishesh is referred to as manifested God or goddess, also known as a Pranava. It is also known as Paramatma or Supreme Universal Self. For example, in the form of Shiva, Shakti, Vishnu, Ganesh, etc. And here Purusha represents Atma or individual soul. And when this Atma resides in the body which is made of Prakriti, the same is called Jivatma. As you progress through practice, this duality leads to the path of non-duality. In Vedanta, there is a practice called Neti Neti, which means not this, not that, means you negate everything one by one to realize the Supreme. But in Tantra, you say this is also divine, that is also divine. There is nothing which is not divine. In the essence, the final goal is the same, just the orientation is different. One is through rejection, other is through acceptance. Both Vedanta and Samkhya use same path of knowledge or Jnana Yoga, and yoga acts like the bridge that utilizes that knowledge and recommends practices. Yoga is not only a philosophy, but practice and also the state of being. And like yoga, Tantra also follows the path of practice. Thus, yoga is used as an application in Tantra. So within the system of yoga, there are various forms of yoga. On a high level, there are two major groups. One group is called classical yoga, which is based on the Vedic approach, and the other one is called Tantra yoga. Again, on a high level, each group has 4 main paths, summing to as a total of 7 major paths. And each path is inclusive of all other paths. In each path, others are implicitly present as the supporting agents. Now, you may wonder, what is the difference? On a high level again, classical yoga focuses on the mind, but Tantra yoga focuses on the energy or prana. Thus, practices of Tantra are all about energy management, Shakti, remember, including purifying the body and breath, then leading to the mind and emotions. Tantra says it is difficult to directly control the mind. So let's focus on prana or the life force. Remember, wherever your mind goes, your energy goes. And in the same way, wherever our energy goes, our mind goes. They are together for eternity like Shiva and Shakti. So change your energy and change your state of being. And how you do it? Through the practice. So in Vedanta, Samkhya and Yoga, the material world is rejected in the name of the idea of liberation. But in Tantra, it is all about integration with the Supreme, known as having the Tattva Gyan or becoming one with Shiva, Shakti or Vasudeva consciousness. So if I summarize, there are 3 common features of Tantra philosophy. First is, there is one Supreme Being, a monotheistic God. Second, there is an existence of the individual soul and which is considered real. And the third one, there is an objective existence of the universe which is also considered real. I hope this sums up the philosophical comparison. But just to point out that in Sanatana Dharma, from the outside, people see many different gods. And to some, it does not make any sense. How can be so many gods? But if you see across different philosophies here, at the core, it is monotheistic or believes in one supreme reality. but depending on the tradition, the name and the form varies to its followers. Thus it appears polytheistic. Another important thing to also mention here that the Tantra philosophy has no notion of some separate, far-seeing God sitting in the cloud, getting angry at you or ready to punish you if you did not follow something. It preaches no such doctrine. In the essence, there is nothing separate from God. In the eye of the Tantra, the body of the practitioner or sadhaka is the temple or the universe, the autokratos or Atma-Shakti, and within the body is the desired Ishta and the to be sought for as Sadhya, and that is the deity as a Devata or Devi of the practitioner. All which you are looking outside is within you. That Supreme is within you. This Supreme is beyond any gender, name and form. But the unfolding of this Atma Shakti or self-power happens only through self-realization, also known as Atma Bodh, Atma Sakshatkar or Atma Darshan. This all happens or is achieved through practice only. Whoever realizes his or herself attains liberation, mukti, or freedom from all sufferings. In short, this is the summary and essence of all tantric philosophies. So now, putting everything together, it can be said that the Tantra Shastra is broadly divided into three parts: practice, perfection, and philosophy. Or you can say sadhana, siddhi, and darshan. Tantra always has a greater emphasis on practice. That's why it is called sadhana and prayoga shastra, or manual of practice and applications. It is recommended to start with simple practice, something which you can do and keep up on regular basis. Some people get lost in some success or siddhis, and sometimes their progress stops right there. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, majority of us start on this path due to pain or suffering, and in my personal experience, it is true. However, achieving success or progress requires a genuine interest and regular practice with commitment to yourself, nobody else. This is the eligibility or worthiness for seeker, also known as adhikar. For more information on seeker, you can watch my video on steps of Tantra seeker. So in my upcoming videos, I will be moving to Tantra practices. This is where you can truly benefit once you embody a practice and apply in your daily life. You will start to see the changes from within. No philosophy will be required. So to begin with, I will pick up some practices which can be easily shared online to those who are truly interested and can practice from anywhere at their convenience. Thank you for watching this video. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the information, please subscribe, like, and share so that everyone else can also enjoy this.